Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Raising the New Earth podcast. I am your host, Noah Dory, and today we're going to discuss the connection between uh, fear, feeling down, anxiety, and the winter season. So, winter is known as the season of water from traditional Chinese medicine and Taoist medicine. Winter is known as the time of the kidneys, which must be protected and nourished. And this is done by storing our energy rather than expending it. It is the most yin of the seasons. And when the weather turns cold, everything in nature goes to sleep. This is not necessarily the time to start jogging or taking aerobics classes or anything else that make you overly sweat. This is not the time to rush around. Instead, this is the time to go to bed a little bit early and get up a little bit late if you can, staying inside when where it's warm and just rest. Addressing the root of imbalance is something that I specialize in my clinic naturally, Noah, because I see all too often clients come to me with what seems to be a chronic illness of some sort, and then we track it down to the mental body, as we call it. This is the downward causation from the mental body down to the physical manifestation. And recently, I have seen many clients who come to me with anxiousness, depression, not quite feeling like 100% themselves. And so that um, gave me the idea of doing this episode. We have to understand, because this is the most yin of the seasons, you'll see the trees in winter they look skeletal. The sap has sunk, outward signs of life have kind of disappeared, and the landscape is covered with snow if you're lucky enough to see snow. There is work going on, but the work needs to be internal, because that energy of winter is latent and potent. This is the state of resting deep within. This is the state that the energy is collected and held in reserve. And just like nature, this is the time to do a lot of internal work, meditation, concentration, different types of workouts in order to rest up, build up the reserves, and gathering the strength for the year ahead. So we have to understand the flow of vital energy, that chi from its source, and how consciousness can restore our fields when we evolve from the ego conditioning of me, it's only about me, towards a more self-creative mode where I can be a vessel um, to be able to give to others. And one important step is the application and the work that, for example, acupuncture can really serve us with that, and all types of energy healing. Um, and in this episode, particularly, we're going to explore the winter element and how it relates to us. So, because everything is resting, that is a hint to what is needed from us right now. And we know that in the kidneys are closely associated with a fundamental drive that is known as Z in Chinese, often translated as willpower. Most fundamentally, it is the survival instinct that keeps us uh, from going, keeps us going in the darkest of times. And in less extreme situations, this is what identifies and works towards our goals and the things that we want. And because the dominant element now is water, which naturally flows downward, it cleanses and nourishes and goes very calm and still when not disturbed. When water is still, that sediment settles out of it and it becomes clear and reflective like a mirror. The emotion that is attached to that season is fear, the fear of not having enough, or what it takes to meet the challenge that lies ahead or will be explored in the season of winter. And the kidneys, the storage place or the ancestral energy and fire of life, and the bladder, which is the power of mental concentration, they both play a crucial role in the management of this capital energy that we received at birth. And it is important to understand the flow of this vital energy, that chi from its source. So in the winter, which is the best time to conserve energy, I always highly recommend eating more root vegetables, nuts, walnuts, chestnuts are particularly good for the kidneys. Lamb, if you partake in meat products. Try to avoid cold food and drinks, as your body must burn the energy to warm it up before it can be used. And this is part of leaving the cold and seeking the warmth. And this is the part of hibernating in balance. So when the winter water energy, kidney energy, and emotions are in balance, you will see a fullness of life force and calmness at the same time, like a large, calm river flowing quickly. And that fullness and strength and energy, that's what leads us with courage to face emotions that may rise up during this time, and allows for them to calm down, and to apply that great outflow for effortless power and the creative energy of water. But when it's out of balance, we know that water can be aggravated in winter. That's when we see depression, lack of motivation, even arthritis, which is inflammation, low energy, even urinary dysfunction, feeling, cold to the bone. And just like a small stream rushing and bumping into everything, energy is running low and fear and stress is overtaking our lives. And this fear makes us feel weak. So if the kidney yin yang continues to weaken, we can become paralyzed and numb to the world around us. And so you have to ask yourself, what is it exactly that you're feeling? So always go back to your internal compass that we are all born with, right? You don't need to, I mean, if it's not an extreme situation, you don't need to seek, a specialist advice in order to go back to your source. So just ask yourself, are you feeling lonely? Then seek community. Call your friends, have them listen to what it is that you're feeling, engage in interaction with other people. Are you feeling the need of regeneration? Then find that divinity and connectivity in nature. Put your coat on and take a walk with your dogs, with a friend, by yourself. I mean, if you live in California, this is, it can be rainy days, but not too many. So take an umbrella and go for a walk, connect with nature. Remind yourself that it is okay to slow down. Nature is asking you to slow down. I mean, for me, I have been watching Netflix TV before nighttime more than ever in this season. And my body's telling me not to rush, not to be in a hurry to go anywhere. And you know what? I think this is the first season that I'm actually listening to my own body. As far as nutrition, we already mentioned, like, seek those more grounding foods, soups, hot teas, herbal teas, broths, warm homemade meals, root vegetables. Eat fewer cold raw foods such as salads and raw veggies and smoothies. Just try to switch to those warm, hearty soups, whole grains, roasted nuts, dark beans, seaweeds, winter greens, and really try to partake in all cooking methods: the cooked, the sauteed, the steamed, the roasted, the baked of whole foods. Um, it's important also to note that salty and bitter flavors, they do balance our kidneys in the winter cold season. And another reminder to celebrate your small wins. I just had a conversation with a client overseas, and well, she happens to be a teenager working to complete her, I think, eighth year. Anyways, she's battling through finding that center of who that individual is. And so when you stay active enough to preserve the flexibility in the body, mind, and heart, which means, conserving the energy, boosting your nutrition, staying warm, meditating, refining your listening skills, going to bed earlier, and rise later to boost that energy for springs, and that means that individual's life are going to be in balance, and that full of life force will be shown to the surface. So these are just things that can give you the energetic nutrition for the winter. And these are just things to keep in mind, that we are meant to slow down a little bit. We are meant to have some more of the salty things in nature, such as seaweeds, Himalayan sea salt, millet, barley, Bragg's amino acids, miso, the bitter that we talked about to balance the kidneys, the endive, turnips, celery, asparagus, alfalfa sprouts, carrot top, rye, oats, quinoa, amaranth, citrus peel, chicory root. I drink it as my coffee substitution. Burdock root, horsetail, all these things. They're so warming. Uh, Fenugreek seeds, fennel seeds, anise seeds, ginger, all the onion family, black beans, salmon, trout, all those things are going to really, really help your body to eat in season and to help your body to replenish our energy, the adrenals, the chi. And so if you feel yourself feeling blue, like most of my clients have, and me included, I would just encourage you and say, look into the season, and as without, so is within. Just seek that time to slow down a little bit and replenish your body through community, through spiritual nourishment of meditation, through physical nourishment of eating the right foods, to help your body to reserve the energy so that you'll be ready for the next season. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.